Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Lynn. I hope you're all doing very well. Today, I wanted to show you what I'm going to do with the zebra Jasper. I'm going to use both 8mm and 6mm beads and make a two-strand necklace out of these. So what I'm going to do is show you guys how to make this little beaded bead right here. Okay, this is made out of peanut beads, and I'm going to show you what I did with that to get that little bead. Um, I have a size 11 needle with about 3 feet of 6-pound fire line on it in crystal. It takes, I believe, 17 beads to make the little bead here. Um, And then I'm going to use those little crystal triangles. That's what you see in between the beads, just to kind of tighten it up a little bit. But um, I've already strung on my 8mm beads, and I used the golden like finish on those um, cube beads that we got. These, I just pulled this color out to show you. And I just have already threaded on the number of beads I want here. And then these are the beads that will go after up here. So I need to make this bead and get it on the necklace before I continue. So I'll show you how I do this, and you can always, rewind or put the um, video back to watch again if you need to, but it's really simple. It's based on right angle weave, and we're just turning that into a circle and then putting the little crystals in there. So, um, like I said, I've got about 3 feet of fire line on my needle. So first I'm going to pick up 4 peanut beads, like so. I'm going to bring them down, leaving myself about, I don't know, about a 5-inch tail that I'm going to sew back in when I get done, and then go back up through all of those beads. Hold on to your tail and give that a pull. We're just turning those into a right angle weave unit by going back through a couple of more of the beads. Okay, and it should look like that. Got to be careful and stay in frame here so y'all can see. Okay, so at this point, we're coming, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go around this again just to secure it because it's a little bit loose. Never hurts to reinforce. Y'all know that. Okay, almost there. You just follow a thread path to get where you need to be. I'm going through the one that the tail is coming out, and I'm going to go through a couple more just to get opposite that tail because it makes it easier to hold on to. Okay, there we go. All right, so coming out this peanut bead here, I'm going to pick up 3 more peanut beads, and I'm going to go through the opposite side of where my thread is coming out and pull. Okay, and that creates the second unit. And now what we need to do to get in place is go through 2 more beads. So up through this one and across this one, the one on the end. And we're going to do that same thing a few more times to get the size we need. So I'm picking up 3 more peanut beads, and I'm going to go through the opposite side of where my thread is coming out. It's coming out of this bead, so I'm going to go through this way. Okay, and then we'll advance through 2 more beads to get in position to put another unit on. So go up through this one and across this one. Okay, this is what we've got so far. Just keep it pulled nice and tight. Okay, pick up 3 more peanut beads. Go through the opposite side of the beads you're coming out of, like so. Pull tight and go through 2 more beads, making sure you keep good tension on this. Okay, through that bead on the end. Don't worry about what little bit of thread shows. We're going to fix that. It won't show when we get all done. Okay, we got 1 more unit to put on. So I'm picking up 3 more peanut beads. Coming out this bead here, we're going to go through the opposite side. Okay, pull it nice and tight. And then you want to go through 2 more beads to get to that end bead. So up this side and across this way. Now what I want to do is turn this into a circle. So the way we do that is we bend it around until we can reach the end bead on the other side, like that. Okay, so we're coming out the bottom of this peanut bead. We're going to pick up 1 peanut bead and come through from the bottom, one opposite. Because we're basically just going to turn this into another right angle weave unit. Okay, then pick up another, and we're going to go down through the one that we started coming out of and pull that tight. Okay, you got to keep all this pulled tight. You may have to pull on your tail too. And you can see that we have now a little bit of a circle. So what I'm going to do at this point is grab some of my little triangle beads. Ooh, don't need that many. And we're going to put a triangle bead between each of these beads on this side, like that. Okay, and pull that tight. Pick up another triangle. Go through the next bead on the top here, like that. Pull. And just kind of turn and hold on to it. Pick up another triangle bead and go through the next bead in that row. Keep going till you get back to the original triangle that you put on. Go through here, like so. Pick up another triangle, go through the next bead. And we have 1 more to put on. So pick up another triangle. And we're going to go through the first bead that we were coming out of here. Well, I'm just kind of double checking my work here to make sure something doesn't look right. Oh, we'd have 2 more to put on, excuse me. Go through the next bead in this section. No, that was right. 1 more. This is the initial bead that we were coming out of to start our triangle beads. It's just kind of loosened up on me a little bit, so I got to tighten it. Pulling on the tail thread. And there we go. Okay, now I'm going to go around this row 1 more time just to reinforce it. So go through however many beads it's comfortable to go through. You don't have to do them all at once. Probably can do about 2 at a time. And as you pull on that, this gets more and more secure while you're going through these. My thread got caught on that bead. Okay, now what we want to do is work our way to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing here. So pick up a triangle, go through the next peanut, pick up a triangle, and I'm not putting any, I'm just randomly picking up the triangle beads. I'm not trying to do any certain color in any kind of way or anything like that. Just randomly choose some. This is more to tighten this up than anything else. Okay. I hope y'all's day is going really well. We have such beautiful weather right now. I got up this morning. I had to wait for it to warm up just a little bit, but then I opened up my doors and opened up the windows that I could. And I'm just enjoying this so much by, having that fresh air coming in the house. I mean, I appreciate air conditioner and I love it when we need it, but boy, I sure do like to be able to let the fresh air in. And just keep doing, around this until it feels nice and secure. And I'm pretty happy with how that is. So what I'm going to start doing now is just tying some half hitch knots so that I can end my thread. And you just go under the thread bridge between the two beads. Oh, that one's just got one thread there. Let's go through a couple more. There we go. So just go under the thread bridge, pull it through, and take your needle back through that loop and pull it down tight. And I usually try to do at least 3 half hitch knots before I end thread. And we're going to sew the tail back in the same way. So that's 2. We'll do one more. Under the thread bridge, like so. I apologize, y'all. I didn't realize I was out of frame. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Okay, there we go. Now just sew through a few beads just to get away from where you put the knots in. And you can cut this thread. The reason we do that is so that the tail doesn't pull out, the thread doesn't pull out from where you went through it there. Okay, I'm going to cut that or burn it or whatever you like to do. And then I'm going to put my needle on the tail thread and sew it back in as well. I always mash my thread to get it flat so that it goes through the needle easier. If you don't do that, it's like trying to put a square peg in a round hole, it seems like to me. Okay, got that on. We're just going to do the very same thing. We're going to put in 3 half hitch knots, and then our beaded bead will be done. Okay, that's 2. And 1 more. Well, I've got that tight. That's good. Okay, go under 1 more thread bridge, tie 1 more little 1/2 inch knot and sew away from our knot, and we'll be done with our beaded bead. And that's good. Okay, so we're going to cut that off. Okay, now what I did was I took some of these little beads that also came in our subscription, and I have one already on. I'm going to put the bead on, and then I'm going to put another one of those beads on to hold that bead in place. See what that does. And then we'll put the rest of our 8mm beads on. And what I did there is I just put on a bead and then a triangle and a bead, and did that with using 5 more of my 8mm beads. Okay, come here, little bead. Those beads are small, aren't they? Goodness. One more time. And then to end it off, I just use some bead caps like this. Just looks finished that way, if you're able to do that. So here's the first strand of our necklace. And now what I'm going to do is put the 6mm beads on a wire, and I won't make you watch me do that, and then I'll come back and we'll put it together. Okay, so I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, y'all, I've gone ahead and finished off the piece with the 6mm beads, and I put a little triangle in between each one of them. And you'll notice I've decided to use the finishing with these clamshells, and I do have one more to do, so I can show you how I do that. But I thought it would bite less, you know, since the way we're going to put it together. That's why I did that. So I've already done one on the 8mm strand, so now we're going to do the other one. And what I do is I take the little clamshell and open it up as much as I can without breaking it. You don't want to do that. And then I'm going to hold this up and let gravity just put it together for me. Put the clamshell on, and then put your crimp bead on. Make sure they're down to where they need to be, and then take a pair of pliers and just flatten that crimp bead like so. Okay, you see that in there? And then just cut off the excess beading wire. Don't cut it exactly up against the clamshell. Leave just like, you know, a millimeter above it, just so that there's a little bit of extra beading wire sticking out of that clamshell. And then we just close it. And the nice thing about these is the hole can turn any way you want it to, so that you can make your necklace hang right. Make sure you close that clamshell good and line up those holes. Okay, now I'm going to put this together, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to need 2 of these little triangles. Look how many of these are still left and how many of these are still left. I had 2 6mm left and quite a few of the 8mm, enough for something else. And then I have this many of these spacers left. So not a whole lot, but enough to do something with. what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these in between each strand on a jump ring, and then I'm going to attach my chain to that. So I have a 10 millimeter jump ring here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread on my 8 millimeter strand. Okay, I'm going to thread on one of these triangle beads, I hope. Yep, that's going to work. And then I'm going to thread on the 6 millimeter strand. Okay, and you see what that does? It separates them so that they're not just, too close to each other. Now that I have that there, I'm going to go ahead and put on a segment of my chain. Just like that. And then close this jump ring. And I'm purposely using these bigger jump rings just to kind of, I don't know, just, it almost looks like a link there, you see? Okay, and now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Got another 10 millimeter jump ring. I'm going to open it up good. Just for this side, I'm going to do the opposite just because it's the easier way for me to work. So first I'm stringing on the 6 millimeter. Oh, I got to line my holes up there a little better. There we go. Put on my 6 millimeter strand. Put on my little crystal. Put on my 8 millimeter strand. And the segment of chain. Close that real good. Okay, there we have that. Okay, and then let me grab a smaller jump ring to put my clasp on it. I'm using a very large lobster claw. But I checked, I'm also going to put on a 2-inch extender and it will fit through there, so it's fine. So let me just grab a couple other jump rings that are not so big. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to use one of these little ovals to put my lobster claw on. Open it. My goodness, that string is just in my way. Okay, put that on, put my clasp on, and close that up real good. Okay, and then on this side, I'm going to use this great big jump ring to attach the lobster claw to close it. So I'm going to put that on the end of this side of the chain. And I'm also going to put the little extender chain on and close that real good. Okay. And then our necklace is complete. And I think it came out pretty. I like the beaded beads on there. I mean, it's just another texture, another point of interest for it. But you could do this with any beads, I mean, it's more about just putting together a 2-strand necklace than anything else. And, another little beaded bead that you could, now know how to make. So, all right, you guys, well, thank you so much for being here with me today. I love having you here, and I appreciate all the support I get from you guys. It really makes it worthwhile to me to continue doing this. As much as I love it, it does help when, people are looking and checking out what I'm doing and that kind of thing. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Remember to take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.